Okay, looks like we are live. That was pretty quick. Didn't expect it. Usually it takes a little bit longer to load, but okay, we're live. Um, and yeah, we're here on the Gus Luscious so-called podcast. And thank you all who are watching. It doesn't look like anyone's watching yet, and I'll have to start sharing that and whatnot and tell people to share it. But yeah, oh, here's we got one person watching. Okay, now thank you. It feels a little better now. So yeah, one person watching, please share this video so that we get it out there more. We have from United Way, Rosemary Casso, and I really appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your day to speak on the podcast. And yeah, I mean, and also thank you for letting us, put your logo and all that on the flyer for the Sunday open mic that we have at 5 p.m., which we're raising funds for United Way. And welcome, second person watching. Please share the video. And Rosemary, do you want to kind of introduce yourself a little bit, like before I start asking you some random questions?
Sure, sure. So my name is Rosemary. I'm from United Way of Tulare County. I'm born and raised Tulare girl. I did go to school in the Bay Area and came back after getting married because I wanted to raise my family here. So been back in the Central Valley for almost 20 years. And it's been an honor to work for United Way. I've been in the nonprofit industry for over 20 years, and it's all been service oriented and trying to do what we can to make Tulare County a safe place for everyone. So yeah, that's a little bit of a tidbit. I'm Portuguese, very very culturally in tune with my family, and so I'm always proud, Portuguese and proud, but also just proud to be a Central Valley girl. So I always try to do what I can to make our place better.
Sweet. Okay, so before we get all into the details of United Way, that I was hoping to ask, so what school did you go to?
I went to high school.
Oh yeah, for
Okay,
all your schools, every single
okay.
school.
So like all the
No,
way.
I mean
Wow.
whenever you
Okay,
want
so
to.
you
You
want
so you're from
everything?
Tulare.
Yeah.
So you went to
No,
Western.
I went to Tulare Union. This is pre the tribe, obviously. So I went to Tulare Union. I did go to COS for a couple of years, and then I went to San Jose State because I thought I wanted to see the world, and I moved to San Jose. But I did get to experience it. I love the Bay Area. That is where I met my husband, and then I went back to school and got my master's, my MBA once I figured out what I wanted to do in leadership type organizations.
So for someone that might be wanting to get into your field of work and working with nonprofits, like how do they even get involved? Like, do they just do you have any recommendations or anything?
Yeah. So really, I think one of the things that you need to look at is what is your passion? Is it working with kids? Is it working with the homeless? Is it environmental? And I think there are plenty of different organizations. The arts, like I'm thinking like Arts Visalia. I'm thinking there's just so many different groups that you can get involved in. So for me, it started off with kids. I thought I wanted to be a teacher, and so I got involved with the YMCA non-pro, so it was childcare, helping with summer camp programs. And as I was within that, it really made me think, man, I don't know that I want to be around kids. Sorry. But it just, you learn as you go through. But I loved working with adults and doing staff development. And then it just really grew from there of, man, I can have such an impact and help motivate and elevate adults to make a difference. And so it really has caused me to look at what I can do. And then that sprung into the United Way, where now I can motivate organizations, to do work, or motivate individuals that think, like, oh, I can only give $100. Hey, do you know what $100 can do for an organization? And so then, really just making sure that people understand that they can have an influence, they can donate their time, talent, and treasure, and they can make a difference in their community. That's how my path. Obviously, everyone has different paths, but really, it's business management. But it really derived from my passion that I thought I had was working with kids. And then I understood, okay, this isn't what it is. It's more about making an influence in adults and people understanding that they can really make a difference in their community.
Well, I'm stoked that you know saw the world in the Bay Area and everything, and actually decided to come back
Come
because
back. I know.
um, I know that's, but yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that we have passionate people here doing good things, and because I mean, it's okay that some people that just kind of they go off and do their own thing, but it is it is nice to hear that some people try to make a difference in their communities out there that raise them and all that. So I respect that and appreciate it a lot. So, do you want to talk about some of the United Way projects that are going on? Promote some things that some success stories or whatnot, and anything you
Yeah.
want to share.
There's just so many things. And I had shared with you, Justin, about, that you go to one United Way, you go to one United Way. Each United Way is completely different in each community. And that's what I love about United Way is, we have different programs, and some programs are similar across the board. There's other United Ways within the Central Valley. We encompass Tulare County, so we provide services to all of Tulare County residents. One of the things that a lot of us do is we go and we campaign out for dollars. And what we do with those dollars is we turn around and we help support organizations. So, Habitat for Humanity, I know that you guys helped them with the Mike Night, not too long ago. We help provide funding, for their Brush of Kindness. With Happy Trails, we help sponsor those types of scholarships for therapies, all the way to trying to think of all of our groups. But we currently have about 20 nonprofits that we provide funding to on a yearly basis. And then we take those monies, and of course, yes, we always have admin. There are our admins about 15%. And that goes to pay for our other programs. So it's not just, oh, well, it's to pay my luxurious paycheck, because it's not. It is more along the lines of it helps provide funding for our 211 program, which is, I'm sure you've been hearing it everywhere now with COVID vaccinations. 211 is a you can call website or an app. We have an app called 211 IntelliFull, where people can get resources, whether it's, hey, I need help with childcare, or I need assistance in rent and utilities. Where can I sign up for CalWorks? Any of those types of programs are available on 211, along with all of our partners and all of the resources that they have. And then another one of our programs is College Access. That one's a little bit near and dear to my heart, only because my parents immigrated to this country. They had a third grade level of education, and they immigrated to this country from the Azores because they wanted a better life for their kids. So education was always part of our discussion. Growing up, and I know culturally that's a scary conversation, because how do you afford that? How do you send your kids away to college? And so what we've tried to do with College Access is help eliminate some of the barriers that are there, whether it's, I can't afford to send my kid to college. Well, let's look at all the different options. Let's look at the financial aid. Let's look at DACA. Let's look at all of these things that can help provide opportunities, because there are a lot of funding opportunities that you don't have to pay back in order for a student to graduate. Don't get me wrong, we don't just promote the four-year college. We know that we need welders, we need electricians, and so we try and advocate for technical schools. We advocate for two-year schools and certificated programs. We really just want to help make sure that students know that they have options, and that no adult should be making the decision for them. They should see all the opportunities that are in front of them in order to make their own decision. Nothing drives me more nuts than hearing an administrator saying, well, that kid's not college material. That's not our place. Our place is to give people options and to help support them if they choose to go forward and try and expand their knowledge and and get a degree or whatever the case may be that they choose. Some of the other cool things that we do, not only with supporting nonprofits with funding, we help them with workshops, sustainability. Sometimes it's strategic planning. Sometimes they need a little bit of, what do I do here? And so we help connect them, whether it's to presenters, whether it's to a pro bono attorney. We try and connect them. We're really a conduit of resources, whether it's for the individual or for the nonprofit in Tulare County. The one final thing that I see that we morph so much based off of the community needs. So even prior to me being here, so I've been with United Way, we're looking at 9 years now. Prior, there was a huge freeze, and they raised millions of dollars to help with people that were impacted by the freeze. Obviously, we're in COVID, right? And so we saw a huge gap with resources. So we were able to secure over $1 million in donations to help with rent and utility and food. We provided over $400,000 in food vouchers, over $1 million in rent and utility assistance to individuals. And it's been very humbling, because a lot of the people that have been impacted are people that have never needed help before. And so for us, it's, hey, we just want to help. We want to make sure that you're secure. We want to do all that we can. Obviously, there's guidelines, there's grants that we apply for, and there's rules that we have to follow with certain funding. But a lot of times we're trying to figure out how we can help support a family to make sure that they're secure. We did the same thing with the fire when the complex fire happened. County called on us and said, hey, we need your help. And so we literally, my staff, we were literally getting phone calls at 2:30 in the morning with evacuees and placing them in hotels, because everyone's our neighbor. Everyone is a friend. There's so many connections, and Tulare County is big geographically, but we're all connected in some way. And so for me, it was, if I was ever in that predicament, I would want someone to be waking up at 2:30 in the morning to help me too. And so we all look at that. We have dynamic staff of 8 individuals that are very passionate about doing whatever they need to do to get the job done, whether it's the drought and helping people get water tanks in front of their houses, or it's COVID. And I have staff right now that are taking phone calls from seniors to help them get registered for a vaccine. Everyone has stepped up to the plate because, again, we want to make sure that our community is supported. So that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I didn't even realize all the stuff that you've been involved with. So that's awesome that you're doing that. A few other questions. I mean, you may have touched a little bit about it, but like, you want to go a little bit more in depth about the the Project Room Key with in Tulare County Health and Human Services, and about some of the things that are going on with that.
Sure. So we partner with the Homeless Alliance, and the Homeless Alliance was part of the group that started the Project Room Key that came down from the governor's office. And so it was securing a hotel, getting individuals that were in the vulnerable population being exposed to COVID, and making sure that they were safe and in a location. They were provided food. They were provided medical attention. It has been a great program that was really the springboard into now hotels housing homeless and getting people off the streets. And so that was a partnership with Chaz Felix. We helped to fund part of the project with Dr. Guzman from Kuya Delta, where they do street medicine. So we were able to provide iPads and medications when they're out there. helping to do physical checks on this community. The one thing that we did just recently, and that was working with, and I think it's something kindness. I'm trying to think. It's within the Tulare group. With Aaron Gomes, we were able to purchase about 50 Arctic sleeping bags. So what we try to do is, where's there a gap, and what can I do to help minimize that gap? What can we do, whether it's funding, or can I purchase something, or can I advocate? Can I help write a letter of support for a grant? There's all these different things that United Way has been a part of. And so we were able to fund about $85,000 in COVID relief to the Homeless Alliance. I know that was part of the purchase of the food truck for Salt and Light. So there's like all these different projects that the Homeless Alliance was able to use that partnership and that funding to be able to utilize it for the homeless community.
So, like, if I have like a group of people that are wanting to like volunteer or something, like with the homeless issue, or get more informed. I mean, I know like a few people that and we watched the Zoom task force meetings, and that's pretty informative. And yeah, I'm glad that you're doing have it on Zoom and everything. But like, where should we go, or who would I maybe try to hit up next about coming on and talking or something like that? And just to
Yes.
get more involved, like, is it like on a volunteer basis? And I mean, I'm not sure how much time, because I know a lot of my pals, they are busy, but they are wanting to do something. Like, we don't know what to do, but we want to like do what we can. Is it donate? Is it volunteer? Or who should we go to?
Yeah, specifically for the county. So it used to be Chaz Felix. Right now, it is Noah Whitaker with HHSA. He was just announced this week. But I think a great resource would be Noah, and then Michelle with the Homeless Alliance. If you can get the two of them, and maybe even Chaz, since he's been part of the group. He's the one that was the initial hire on for the homeless liaison, for the county. So I think having those individuals are a great resource, not only for volunteers, because maybe Dr. Guzman with street medicine needs some help. Maybe Adrienne with Salt and Light, they're starting their food truck program, and they're over at the old Tegas Ranch. I think, what is it called? 99 Palms now, I think, is what it's called. And so I see me old school Tulare, Tegas Ranch. That's what it was, right? So I think that those would be great resources to have come on and also share what their greatest needs are. They may need funds. They may need donations that are unrestricted, because a lot of times we apply for grants and it's like, well, you can only do this with it. And sometimes it limits, especially if there's a particular gap, which is what our money, it was unrestricted funds. So it was like, use it what you need it for. If you need it to house in a hotel, or if you need it to pay for a food voucher, whatever you need it for. So I think a lot of times there are some needs for donations. I know definitely there's a lot of time for need of volunteers, especially those that want to build that community, that sense of community, that relationship with the homeless individuals, because obviously they want to be in a certain place because of something, right? And so it's really, really important that we build a relationship of trust, and really help the homeless community know that no one deserves to be on the streets. If you have mental issues and you want help, let's get you connected to those resources. And so really trying to see what we can do as a community to bring that together. But I really recommend Michelle and Noah, and probably Chaz would be great resources to come on.
Sweet. And then to get a hold of them, I would just go to, do you know where?
Michelle is with the Homeless Alliance.
And do I
So
just go to their Facebook or their website?
Yeah, their website. It's the Kings Tulare Homeless Alliance.
All right.
And then Noah's with the county, and so is Chaz. But I can totally get you all that information and get you connected.
Okay, yeah. I maybe I know I spoke to someone that did mention a Noah, but I actually hit up a different Noah, thinking that because there must be only one Noah in this town, maybe. But
Yeah.
but no, no it was a wrong Noah. I hit up the wrong Noah, but it was both important Noahs. But anyway, what I was gonna say was yeah, I mean, I really appreciate all that you do, and all the info that you've given today. I'm blanking on my okay, I don't know if you have. I was gonna blank on like a question, but you may not have any answers to this or anything, but like I guess because I did hear something on the homeless task force. Like St. Paul's had like a warming station, but they can't really do it right now. But are they still like looking for donations and volunteers, or anything like that?
So they used to, so pre-COVID, St. Paul's was always wonderful about opening their doors and having the warming station. And now because of COVID, it makes it definitely more difficult because of congregate. You can't have anybody inside. You can't, like, all of these types of rules. And so it makes it a little bit more difficult. I think if St. Paul's could, they would, Pastor Susan is a really good advocate for the homeless community, and so I think she would welcome any type of donation. I just don't know what she would be able to do at this point with COVID. But yes, they have been the warming center specifically for Visalia. Tulare, I know that they've done a cooling center. I've not heard of a warming center in Tulare. Um, and Porterville, I haven't heard of anything as far as a warming center as well.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try to get a hold of. It's Susie Ward from St.
Yeah,
Paul's. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I'll try to reach out and see, because I know they turn into a nonprofit themselves, or they have like something separate. But and maybe they'll accept volunteers in the future or something, and it'd be nice.
right. And I know that the word was it that the journey was another one that we helped fund during COVID, like early COVID. They had asked for funding for a restroom and a hand washing station for the homeless community, and so we provided the funding for that. Um, you know, we that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we provide like little things. Oh, you need backpacks. Okay, like let's get you funding. Let's get you connected. So there's a whole gamut. If someone says, well, what do you fund? Well, pretty quite a bit. Like it
They
just
just need to be like nonprofits, though, right?
yeah, usually we don't do any direct payments to individuals. It is nonprofits. And so we try and work with them. If not, we try and get them connected to other resources that could help with that particular project that they're looking for.
Even for like, let's say someone wanted to start a nonprofit or something, like, is it like
Yeah,
an easy process or anything, or is that pretty hard?
it's not an easy process. No, but that's one of the things that we do. I do help those that want to create a nonprofit. There's a whole list that I give individuals. I help walk them through it. A lot of times people will go to LegalZoom and pay $1,000 for this company to make them. Don't waste your money on that. Like, contact us at United Way. We'll help you through that process. The one thing I do, I not that I encourage, like, hey, I'm going to make a nonprofit. But what I try and do is I try to understand what is it that you're trying to achieve? And is there someone that's already trying to do that in the community that maybe you can already partner up with instead of having to create a whole new nonprofit? And then if someone chooses, well, no, like that's not my mission, that's not the vision that I'm thinking of, then I help them walk through that process of, okay, well, this is what you need. You need bylaws, you need a budget, you need board of directors, and then I give them all the tools. So that's the cool thing. It's not like a PDF and saying, here now you got to type it up. I give people Word documents that they can go and edit to make it work for their organization. So that way they're not creating something brand new. And not every organization is going to need everything, but policies and procedures, all that stuff that's required in order to legally become a nonprofit, we help organizations that are grassroots trying to start, we help them with that.
What about for you? Like you guys get you write have you have grant writers and you guys get funds through grants or not? How does that work?
Yeah, so myself, I'm the grant writer. Like I said, we're only eight, but we do a lot of stuff. A lot of people say, well, my plate is full. And I always joke about it that, when you work for a nonprofit, it's more like a platter. We don't have plates, it's platters, right? And you just keep adding stuff onto your platter. Because we have to be respectful of donor dollars. It kills me to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars when I want that money to go to make good, to make good in the community. And so if that means that staff and I are writing grants or into the wee hours of the morning, that's what it means. If I know that I can be fiscally conservative and make sure that those dollars are going to turn into programmatic type results. If that means that that's what it's going to be, then that's what we do.
Nice. All right. Well, anything else that you want to kind of share, plug, or anything? Any like big? I know we have like the fundraiser that we're trying to do for you of the open mic on Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But like any like of your annual stuff? Are you doing any like Zoom or online kind of fundraisers like that we could all plan for in the future?
Yeah, so we normally have a couple of fundraisers that we're in the process of reevaluating. So like we have Power of the Purse that normally happens in June. So we're looking to see if that's going to be a virtual or maybe in person. I doubt it. I don't know. So we're in that process of planning that. We always have a golf tournament with partnered with Land O'Lakes. They are rock stars in the community in terms of supporting so many nonprofits, including ourselves. And so we're looking at the golf tournament happening in May. And then we also have an annual recognition that will be happening in late August, early September. And that's where we always recognize community partners that just step up to the plate. But that's what's in the pipeline right now. We'll see, with vaccinations coming out and new administration, we'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. We're
Yeah.
just going to play it by ear. But Justin, I just wanted to tell you thank you. I really appreciate it. It was so cool getting this email, like a random email, and it was like, hey, we want to fundraise for you, and I'm like, who's this guy? And then it was like, you send me stuff, and I was like, okay, this is legit. Okay, all right, cool. So
It's getting there. It's not quite legit yet. Almost there.
because we get asked all the time for people for money, like we get like, hey, can you grant me this? And so it was just so awesome to get an email from you, and it was like, okay, well, first of all, who's this guy? So of course I did some recon on you because I was just like, okay, is this guy legit? And then it was like, okay, this is totally cool. And so I give you props. Like this kind of stuff is what makes a difference in a community when you have a group of individuals that want to come together and like, hey, we want to fundraise for a nonprofit that's doing good stuff in our community. Let's give them, you gave me a platform to be able to share with your community about what we're doing, and maybe even if we don't get dollars from this, at least it brings awareness of what we're doing, and hopefully it can connect any of your community members to understand what we can provide. And so I appreciate this opportunity to be able to speak.
Yeah, but we have two people watching, and hopefully they share the video. You two better share, and I'm gonna keep sharing. I've already shared quite a bit. But let's try to get some dollars. Go to their website. It's let's see. I don't have it memorized off the top of my head.
UnitedWayTC.org.
UnitedWayTC.org.
Yep.
All right, everyone that's watching, the two on Facebook and like one person on Instagram. But yeah, no, I think a lot of people they're getting off work and whatnot or something, and they'll probably watch it afterwards, and then I'll keep sharing it, and then throughout the week we'll keep pushing that people should come to the event. But yeah, I really appreciate your time. I'm sorry that we didn't have a lot of other guests to kind of like pick your brain about certain things, and it was just me like asking random questions, but it was really informative, and I applaud all the work that you do, and I'm stoked that you actually came on. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, let's stay in touch, and I guess yeah, have a good rest of your evening, and I'll probably email you.
Okay, cool.
All right,
All right,
peace.
thanks.
Thank you.
Peace.
Have a good one.
You too.